Welcome to part three. We're joined by Ellis from Blackburn. Ellis, can I ask you about James DeGale signing with Conor McGregor's bare knuckle boxing outfit? He's pushing 40-year-old next birthday, James DeGale. How do you think that'll go for James? And do you think he really needs to be coming back? Olympic gold medalist, two-time world champion at super middle. Do you think it'll go well for him, or do you think it'll be a Frankie Gavin job?
I think the whole situation's just sad, really. You didn't really hear much about James DeGale, and I liked that after his retirement, and I respected it. I thought, you know what, he's gone on into the sunset. He was a gold medalist at the Olympics, as you say, we're a world champion as a pro, and he had a good career. And I thought, yeah, loads of dough in the bank, and he's gone off into the sunset, and that's what I like to see. And to hear this bare knuckle, I mean, it provokes the question: is he falling on hard times financially? Because that's got a bit of reason on it. But it's a dangerous sport. I don't know whether his style would translate well to bare knuckle, but it remains to be seen. I don't think he's going to be as much of a liability as Frankie Gavin, because I think he was completely finished, whereas James DeGale looks like he's in half decent nick still. But it's a different sport. And why would you want to mess your face up? Especially at that age, he's probably got a loving family and all the rest of it. They don't want to see him getting his face shredded up. It's a barbaric sport, isn't it? And I just think it's sad. It's a bit of a classless way to go out, really. But that's just my opinion. So good luck to him. Hopefully he don't get hurt, but it's not nice to see, is it?
No, it isn't, and I don't want to see him come back. But if he does, I don't doubt he'll have Jim McDonald in his corner. Beautiful, James. Beautiful. 15-round fighter. Beautiful, James. Beautiful. Uh,
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't happen. And I want to remember James DeGale as a slickster whose best two wins, technically, Andre Dirrell and Butte. And we know who took their zeros, don't we? Old Big Nose.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, good luck to James DeGale. Uh, Ricky Fatton's comeback. What do you think of that? Age 47 in October, fights in December for the WBC Middle Eastern belt. What is going on there?
Is he Middle Eastern now, Ricky Hatton? Is he?
Says
Yeah,
WBC
it's
Eastern
on.
belt. So they've invented a belt for Ricky Fatton. He can't leave it alone, can he, Ricky?
No, no. Again, sad. I don't know what's sadder, James DeGale going into bare knuckle or this comeback from Ricky Hatton. It's just sad to see, and it's money grabbing nonsense, isn't it? I won't be watching that at all. Not a chance. Um, yeah, if it was an exhibition, I'd be like, all right, okay, fair enough, whatever. I don't have to tune into it, and I don't even have to pay attention to it. But when it's a licensed fight in the sport that I love, it's making a mockery, isn't it? So it's no time for that. I don't really want to see it, and it's a shame, really, isn't it? So whatever. Good luck to him.
Yeah. Do you think Ricky will end up getting hurt again like he did in Senchenko fight?
It all depends on if they've agreed to have a fiddle around or if it's going to be a pro. If they go for it, then yeah, he probably could get hurt. But again, this kid's a bit of an unknown, and I've never heard of the guy he's fighting,
Mm.
so it's probably all sort of lined up for Hatton to win in an amazing fight. Probably get a left hook to the body and he'll drop down, sort of a pantomime job, I think. But we'll wait and see, won't we?
Okay. Tank Davis arrested. Apparently, if you look online, there's an incident with his ex missus or some cannabis involved and screaming matches and windows getting broken, all that. Do you think he's going to go down the way as the same way as Adrian Broner?
You'd like to hope not, wouldn't you? Because he's always in or around that pound for pound talk, isn't he? And he's a good little fighter, but yeah, sometimes it's that street mentality, isn't it? And the hood mentality, and it's yeah, he's a Baltimore kid, isn't he? So he's probably still affiliated with people from them streets, isn't he? But with boxing, it's an escape, and for a lot of people, it's hard for them to not dip their toes in both sides of the life, and it looks like he's still got that sort of streetness about him, and again, that's sad to see, isn't it? But um, yeah, I only want to hear about boxers boxing. I don't want to hear about beating. It puts a classless sort of label onto the sport, which is not good. It's all about, for me, the toughest men turn to boxing. They're way harder than your men on the street, way harder, and that's proven in the ring. And it doesn't have to be any further than that. And when I hear about distasteful stuff outside the ring, it just leaves a bad taste for me, and it makes me not like them as a fighter. I was a fan of Tank's style. I like the way he were putting people away, but watching fights moving forward, knowing that he's allegedly beating girlfriends up and stuff, it's hard to root for a guy like that, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. HET, Bricktop is calling His Excellency Turkey. Now calls him, well, we'll have to see what HET says. And it took me a couple of hours to suss out what he meant till I went on social media. His Excellency Turkey is now called HET. What about Triple T, Tea Towel Turkey? Because he's got a tea towel on his head. Now, a lot of people were mentioning that when he first burst on the scene. Now they're all flying out there in Saudi to befriend this man. You think Bricktop's lost his mind?
It's dancing for the paymaster, like you say. It's His Excellency. I've never heard that phrase said so much as when he first came on the scene with Riyadh season. Everyone was saying His Excellency, weren't they? So it's just become a bit of a buzz phrase in boxing circles now, and it's I think a lot of people say it out of comedy now, especially the fans. His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency. That's all you hear, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't be bought, and I don't want to go to Saudi, so it is what it is. Bricktop and Eddie Hills. It looks like a loving, doesn't it, at the moment between them? The double interviews. It seems odd, and they're all waxing lyrical about each other because they know that their paymaster is lining their pockets, and it is not going to be forever. But do you think they both sold the souls? I mean, Bricktop maybe more than Eddie because he were holding his hand on it at one point, but you think it's now become very embarrassing or just very, very, very embarrassing? Because these are supposed to be men's men, aren't they?
Yeah, they've all shown the true colours and proven that money talks, haven't they? And I mean, if it's financially beneficial for them to hold hands, they're holding hands. If it's financially beneficial for them to kiss on the lips, I'm sure that would happen as well. And it just shows that it's all about the pound note, isn't it? And it's cringe, really, isn't it? But on the flip side of that, if it means that the sport's going in a direction where I get to see the fights that I want to see, I don't care if another man's holding hands. It doesn't affect me, does it? I don't know them from Adam, so
Yeah.
they can do what they want.
Okay. All sounds a bit fruity to me. Speaking of fruity, he'll be sweating his knackers off waiting to get sentenced next month. Big shout out to Fruity. If you can get your hands on a phone in there, pop, bang on that one. Got a long, hard road ahead of you, lad. And trust me, I know about that. Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron, 3. Do we want to see it? And where's women boxing heading now? It looks like they've all gone quiet on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've touched on it before. I'm not a massive tuner-inner of women's boxing.
Is that a Blackburn saying, lad?
Yeah. I don't tune in for women. I mean, what did I watch? I watched Savannah Marshall when she fought Shields, and I think I might have watched Cameron versus Taylor the first time. But that's about it, really. And if it's on, I'll watch it, but I won't go out my way to watch it. Is it fizzling out? I mean, you could say that because Taylor's on her way out and she's the sort of golden girl, isn't she? But I don't know. It might be on a little bit of. You could argue it's on a resurgence as well because of that MVP with Jake Paul. He's got them all under one roof, and so there might be something on the horizon for women's boxing, but it's not for me. Let's just say that it's not for me.
Okay, where have you got Usyk in your all-time list after he deals with John Coffey on Saturday?
As in all-time heavyweight
across
list?
The board, every single weight division.
Ooh, I think certainly top 10, possibly top 5. But it's that's a real hard one to just say on a whim because you've got a lot of years of boxing catalogues to go through before you say stuff like that. And it's all about eras, isn't it? You know, you're talking about the early days where people were having hundreds of fights. It were a
Yeah.
different sport kind of thing, but
He's fighting elite guys though, and top guys all the time, isn't he? I mean, he's already got more wins over world champions than Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler. So
yeah. Put it this way, I firmly believe that he could hang in any era. I know people get either recency bias or nostalgia bias, where they're like, oh, no one would beat Ali, no one would, because they have allegiance to that era. But the fact is, I think Usyk, chuck him in Ali's era, I think he'd be. I'm not saying he'd beat everybody because no one, the mythological fights, aren't they? But he would be a problem for anyone at any era, and I think most boxing purists would agree that. So
I've
yeah,
seen
it'd be a
interviews this
challenge
last
for sure.
week. I agree with you. I agree with you. It hang in any era, Ellis. Funny. I've seen interviews this last week with Lazy Rhino, Derek Warchizora, the guards. I've seen all the interviews. It's Big Freeze, and everybody says, even Eddie Hills, that Usyk trains longer than everybody. And I've seen the interview with Usyk where he said he doesn't believe in overtraining. He believes you just get fitter. I've seen the YouTube thing where he's in the fish pond where it's snowing. At the EIS, they have them fancy ice baths, don't they? You go in a hot one or something, then a cold one or something, whatever. Do a hot sauna, then they do a cold one. Look, Usyk swims 3 mile. He's running 10 mile. This is alternative days, biking 70, 80 mile now, or 80 kilometers. He's super fit, and Derek Chisora's touched on something with that Elmer Fudd loving, where they had a chat on Sunsport, I think it was. And he said he trains so hard and that. Well, why can't our guys take the leaf out in his book and just keep training and training and training and hone their craft? I don't get it, do you? Blowing up in between camps, fat as pigs. I don't get it, do you?
I think there's a lot of we know better about boxers, you know, and a lot of we've always done it that way, and that's the way we're going to do it. And I think now you got to move with the times. And for me, I'd probably, if I had the resources and I was a up and coming professional, I'd look abroad. I'd look at these foreign fighters. Look, well, all you got to do is look at who's doing the winning. Look at who's doing the winning and go, what are they doing? And is it something that could suit my style? I'm not saying, you could go to the Eastern Europe and be a big heavy lump and it wouldn't suit your style at all and it'd be disastrous. But if you feel like you could adapt to that style that's winning all the time, why wouldn't you engulf yourself in that and look at their training techniques? But it seems to be a bit of we know better and it's always been that way kind of thing over in Britain, isn't it? So I think there's an element of that as well. But people need to be more open to trying new styles, and I think it's a winning formula what Usyk's got
Yeah.
for sure.
A lot of people saying John Coffey's on the spectrum. He's screaming in Usyk's face. And the new, Grant, he already got a world title belt. I know it's paper champ stuff, but do you think he got confused there, old John Coffey, or he'd been eating too much cornbread?
Yeah, I don't know about spectrum or clinical professions and stuff like that, but he's certainly a simple man, and it's clear to see that. And it seems to me like he's never been a talker, has he? I feel like he's fed a script beforehand, but they keep the
Yeah.
script very, very short and simple, like just shout "and the new," or just say the word chaos 100 times, or say the word resurrected 100 times. Because he's not an articulate guy, is he? And yeah, he's not box office with the talking, so it looks a bit forced, and you can tell it's not his thoughts that are coming out. But yeah, a very simple man. Let's just say that.
AD Alipedo says that Shiraz deserves the Canelo fight because he's an ambassador for Turkey. Do you believe he deserves that shot and millions in the bank? Yes or no?
Does he deserve the Canelo fight? I wouldn't say he doesn't deserve it.
Over Callum Simpson, who's British, Commonwealth, European, and highly ranked.
say he deserves it more than Callum Simpson because he's just beaten Belanga, who's a way higher level fighter than Callum Simpson, and in a fashion that Canelo couldn't. So that if AD said he deserves it because he beat Belanga in better fashion, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But caveating it with he deserves it because he's an ambassador, that's a stupid thing to say, isn't it?
Yeah, okay. Dennis McCann, he's been out a year. Bricktop says it's a farcical what's gone on, but it's in his system, isn't it? He said it should be dropped because the form were filled in incorrectly, but nobody's asking, well, Bricktop, did your fighter, Dennis McCann, fail a drug test? Nobody's asked him that question yet. None of these YouTubers, none of the liquor squad. How do you see that one panning out? And do you think Bricktop might sue somebody if they ask the wrong question? Because he's probably not sued anybody for 17 minutes. What do you think?
Yeah, there'll be definitely some lawsuit involved of some sort. But I think with Dennis McCann, they'll go down the route of letting time elapse, and he'll pop up on the scene. It'll be all, I'm innocent, case won, case closed. They said I'm innocent. I'm back on the scene, and they'll have a few warm up fights, and they'll be back in the mix. Similar to the Conor Benn model, like I'm innocent, and it's all non-disclosure stuff, and we'll just have to lap it up, won't we? But I don't think any sort of clarity will come out and transparency. There's no chance of that happening, is there?
Okay, Anthony Yard, Benavidez. How do you see that going?
I see Benavidez winning that fight comfortably. Yard's not shown me anything of that going off that last fight against what's it called Arthur. It wasn't all inspiring in that, and I just think Benavidez, he's got a lovely. I really like his style. He puts his hands together quick and powerful, and he's just really pleasing on the eye. I think that style against Anthony Yard, yes, he's got power, yes, he's got heart, and I do rate his heart because he will get in there with these killers. But for me, he's caught up in this pretend Floyd Mayweather style that just does not suit a muscle bound light heavyweight. When I watch Yard, I always get the suspicion that he's more focused on looking good than actually doing effective good work in there. He's doing too much shoulder rolling and trying to be Floyd Mayweather. He just needs to get in there and stick his hands together, which I think that he's getting on a bit now as well, isn't he? So his best years are arguably behind him, but good luck to him. Well done for having the balls to get in there, and I'm sure he's getting compensated well. But I think Benavidez will. I think he'll stop him. Yeah, I think he'll stop him.
How do you think Anthony Yard would do against Clinton Woods if he were fighting Clinton for Clinton's IBF?
I think Clinton Woods would win. It's that sort of raw grit, fitness, and aggression is what is Anthony Yard's undoing, really. Like I say, if Yard had a different trainer and worked to his sort of advantages, I think he'd be a problem for anyone. He's so heavy-handed, isn't he? And he is evasive as well. But for me, it's like they've been infected by Mayweather fanboy isms. It's that Tunde's got him doing pretend wannabe Floyd stuff, and it's just mimicked in his fights. But it's not effective. It's not effective work. It's too much posturing and too much energy wasting without any effective work. So if he adopts that style in his next fight, I think it'll come undone. But I think Clinton at his best as IBF champion, certainly against this Anthony Yard, I'd edge towards Clinton Woods, yeah.
Okay, Walter Fury got beat by a guy with 70 odd fights and 9 wins, a Latvian journeyman. Do you think that's it for Walter Fury now, or AKA Wally?
I mean, you could put any name, you could say John, Tim, Doris Fury. There's that many of them. I don't know who he is, to be honest with you, Walter Fury. I might have seen one interview of him or something like that. I've never seen him fight.
Yeah.
They're just dining out. They're not going to get a normal job, are they? So if they've got the Fury name, there's a ready-made model to make money, isn't there? Go into boxing and give that a go. But it doesn't mean just because you've got the surname Fury that you're going to be particularly any good at it. So good luck to him. Listen, I've never seen him fight, so I don't know. That's for him to work out. But yeah, there's too many of these Furies.
Yeah, yeah. Lazy Rhino against John Coffey at the Copper Box and Bricktop's Christmas Bonanza for the WBA Continental. Do you see that happening?
What, Dave Allen against Dubois, did you say?
Yeah, at Christmas, John
Yeah,
Coffey, Lazy
yeah,
Rhino.
no.
That could be possible.
Anything's possible, but I don't think he's that big of a draw, Dave Allen. And from a meritocracy point of view, he don't deserve that fight, and he'd get hurt, wouldn't he? I think he'd get really, really hurt in that fight. I don't. There's one thing beating Johnny Fisher in there. You jumping up into the Champions League fighting Daniel Dubois. And I think with that big belly and that plodding, lazy style, it's you're going to be on the end of some real punishment against Dubois. So I don't want to see that fight if that's what you're suggesting.
Where do you see Rhino now? Because he looks to me like he's been parked up since he's done the big ticket seller, doesn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he looks. I do see the odd thing on his YouTube channel. He looks big for a start. It looks like he's got a big belly and all the rest of it, which is not good to see. Um, but yeah, we need to be hearing. It's about activity. We need to be hearing about his next fight, don't we? And for me, that needs to be someone slightly above Johnny Fisher's level, not a million levels above. He'll just get iced. So like a TKV or one of them kind of ones is where he needs to be looking really, but remains to be seen. Innit? We've not heard anything.
No. Should Yui retire now, or is 30-year-old too early to retire?
Uh, I wouldn't want to say he should retire. He needs a big switch up, a massive switch up. It needs to be. He needs to change his personality for the camera, even if it's just for the cameras. He needs to start being more vocal. He needs to get social media. He needs to market himself better because what he's doing at the minute, it's like he's whispering in the corner and it's not making any noise whatsoever. And I'd probably say change his team, change his trainer because that style is too boring. It's not going to get bums on seats. And I mean, no, I don't think he should retire. He's still relatively young, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's not got a million miles on the clock. It's all about getting him out there, and he needs to. His next fight, forget about 5 fights down the line. His next fight has to be something credible, something actually credible. Because I'm bored of talking about Fury, and I'm even more bored when I watch him fight these John Garbers and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think Joseph Parker can feel aggrieved at the moment with how things have panned out for him? He looks to me like he's swerved, like Caballel.
Yeah, definitely feel aggrieved. Yeah, I mean, you could argue he's in the best form out of the heavyweights, and he had that fight fall through with Daniel Dubois. He's definitely up there in the running for a shot at the world title, isn't he? So it's like he's been put on ice, isn't it? And it's not really fair, but boxing's a sport where it isn't fair, is it? You know what I mean? You can get overstepped and overlooked, and you don't always get your just desserts. But yeah, I'd like to see, whilst he's marking time there, waiting for the world title, I wouldn't mind him seeing him in there with a Caballel. If he could, that'd be a brilliant sort of who is the top contender, because I think they're the two that are in the running really. So if they could get it on, that'd be a good rubber match, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Krusher Benn issued his ultimatum to Eubank. He had 24 hours to sign, and it's now 72 hours and nothing's dealt with. I think we spoke earlier on that. Do we both agree that Eubank's in the driving seat with that one? Because Krusher really can't risk going in with anybody, but they're saying he wants Stevenson now. I think that's just lip service to you.
Yeah, he's just getting as much airtime as he can and planting seeds with any American that he can, just trying to keep that marketability up. But yeah, when does the loser of a fight, a conclusive loser, call the shots? This 24-hour stuff, it's comical, isn't it? I think, as you say, if anyone's in the driving seat, it's Chris Eubank Jr. And if I were him, I'd just say, to be honest, I'd say I'm retiring. He doesn't need. He's not gonna win any world titles, is he now with Eubank? I'd probably just say, look, I finished the feud, the family feud. You got beat, and it's in a bit. I don't need the rematch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the rematch will happen because there's just too much money involved in there.
Yeah, getting back to Yui, Dylan White's taking on the number one ranked WBO guy. There's Lawrence Okoli out there. His team are more than willing to take Yui on for WBC after Lorena fight. And do you think that Yui could just go for one of the top ranked guys and forget all this journeyman fights and making statements, make a statement, fight a top ranked guy and force the issue?
Yeah, he has to. Yeah, he has to definitely. But then you could argue if you're a fighter that's gaining a bit of momentum in the heavyweight division, like say a Coley beats Lorena at the weekend, he could sort of say, "Well, who are you, Hughie Fury? What have you done recently? Wow, why do I even need to entertain you?" Do you know what I mean? He needs one of he probably needs one of them middle ground. He needs a Lorena. So why don't you see what a Coley does with Lorena at the weekend? If he has a few questions asked about him and struggles with him, and you think you can do better, you jump in with Lorena and you force the issue then, don't you? You go,
Yeah.
look, I iced the kid that you couldn't ice. Okoli, I want you now.
Yeah,
That sort of stuff. That's the kind of angle you need to go down, isn't it?
yeah, that saves all that having a fight and then going missing months or just talking a good game. I'm coming for them all. I'm going to make a statement. It's just talking it. We want to see action. Uh, okay, we'll finish off on this one. This is for Les Baxter. I think he's a big Calzaghe fan. Joe Calzaghe's CV. What if I know he's beat everybody? Do you think he was just in a crap era, or he just couldn't get up for certain fights?
Sorry, Rush, you just cut out there. You
Sorry,
talked about
Joe
his.
Calzaghe's CV. This is for Les, who
Mhm.
comments on the channel a lot. Les Baxter, big
Yeah.
Calzaghe fan. Do you think Calzaghe couldn't get up for certain fights, or he was just in a crap era, or he missed the boat on certain things, or didn't want to take risks, or wanted to protect his own? What do you think about his CV?
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? It's there's a lot of filler in his CV, and yes, he retired undefeated and he beat everyone that was in front of him. But what I will say to defend Calzaghe is I do agree. I do feel as though he performed to the opponent that was in front of him. I definitely feel like he upped the ante against uh, opponents that had him in trouble or posed a threat to him, and that's where he came out and put on boxing clinics. Um, I was a fan of Calzaghe, but I always feel like we were left wanting more and
Yeah,
asking. Do you know what I mean? It was obviously the Froch Calzaghe comparisons will go on forever, won't they? But with Froch, I weren't left wanting more. I feel like he literally fought every live dog in his way, didn't he? Whilst they were live as well. Whereas there are a few question marks around Calzaghe. Um, were he getting them when they were too green? You know, he beat that Lacey conclusively, didn't he? But Lacey wasn't massively proven, was he?
no.
And then he got the two Hall of Famers when they were over the hill, didn't he?
Mm.
But that's not me making the argument that he couldn't beat Froch. Maybe he could. It's one of them. I can make arguments for Froch beating Calzaghe. Make
You know,
arguments
wait,
for.
we could, couldn't we, when he were on the slide? You'd make Frotcher and him a 50-50 then, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, his CV. It's not as good as Froch's. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not. He's got the legends. He's got the Hopkins and Roy Jones, but they're just for namesake, aren't they? I think the Pascal's, Dirrell's, um, Andre Ward, even though he got beat, and Kessler's. I think it was better CV. Even though Calzaghe beat Kessler first, I just think overall, then back-to-back world title fights from Froch just age a bit better.
Yeah. Well, he's pulled out of the Glenn Johnson fight 3 times, and in Frank's book called Being Frank, he had to pay $100,000 to Glenn Johnson for the free camps that they pulled out of. So he didn't fight him. He didn't fight Taylor. He didn't fight Tarver. Uh, the list endless. He didn't fight Hopkins and Jones when they were younger. The list is, you could go on and on and on. Frotch, he would took kicking and screaming to ring to fight Lacey, but he destroyed Lacey. And I always felt that he always wanted that edge. He never really tested himself. You know, went into the Lions Den like he should have done, in my opinion. You know, he even
Yeah,
pulled out the Kessler fight, didn't he, in Denmark because he wanted it in Wales. You know, or in the
yeah.
UK. Sorry. Do you know what I mean? So okay, that's about it, really. Listen, we'll finish off on Billy Joe Saunders after all that big chat at the Eubank Benn fight and all them interviews and all them lickers giving him airtime. What's happened to his Billy Joe Saunders comeback or Billy Joe sausages? Because I seen a photo of him the other day on social media. He's as big as a house. So what's happening with that? Is that him done? He's been out at ring now 50 months.
Yeah, I think so, mate. Listen, boxing's one of them sports. It's like a drug, to be honest with you. Even me, sometimes I look at some white collar stuff or amateurs, and I think I could still do a bit, mate. I could get in there and do it. You do a bit of skipping, you get on the bag, you do a few rounds on the pads, and you realise, wow, this is hard. And I think with the size that he's put on, he's probably done a bit of pads, gone down the gym, had a bit of a spar, and gone, yeah, I'm absolutely miles off it. And I just don't think there's any way back for him. I don't think he has the discipline to get back down to a weight where he could be competitive. So I think it's all just him staying in the limelight, and he's a bit distasteful when he's in front of a mic. I don't really like hearing him, but listen, he was a good boxer when he was boxing. I think there's a line under that now. I think he's finished, so I don't think we'll see a comeback.
You think if he did come back, Ellis, it'd just be to get in the ring, it'd be a quick job on stool and take his money and piss off again.
Yeah, and who'd want to see that? I think they'd have trouble trying to generate interest in him because of the way he's carried on. The only way he'd generate interest is if he was in a threatening fight where he could take a beating, because people would be like, "Oh, Billy's going to take a beating. Yeah, take my money." You know what I mean? But against some bum, it's a hard tell. Is Billy Joe outside the traveling community and stuff like that? I don't think he's a big draw really.
Okay, Tyson Fury says he's coming back. Really needs a tune-up fight. Ray Leonard didn't need one for Hagler, so why would Tyson need a tune-up fight?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, conning the public again. It's just making an extra few quid, isn't it?
Mm.
And then it'll be, I need another tune-up fight and another tune-up, and then we'll fight the proper fight. It's yeah, they're just schemers, aren't they, in that camp? And yeah, no, I don't want to see. I only want to see Fury in big, meaningful fights. If not, I just don't want to hear about it. Yeah, conning the public again, as usual.
Okie dokie. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, Ellis. It's been a real pleasure to speak to you again. I hope you're well.
Yeah, sure, sure.
You
And
have a,
yourself, mate.
good. You have a great Thursday, what's left of it, mate. Cheers.
Yeah. All right, bud. Yeah, nice
Yeah, mate.
speaking to you, mate.
Bye. Cheers, mate. Bye.
Catch you in a bit.
Right. That was Ellis from Blackburn. Women love him, men want to be him. Well, that's about it, really. We're going to shower now. Oh, thanks for liking and subscribing. And leave me a comment. Go on, peace out. Booyaka.